All right, well, welcome back to WolfePak Wednesdays. For those of you that are tuning in for the first time, my name is Brent Rhymes, and I'm the CEO of WolfePak Software. In 2021 was a very busy year for WolfePak. The company experienced some incredible growth. We launched WolfePak Anywhere, which is a new cloud-based version of our popular oil and gas accounting software package. We also launched WolfePak Intelligence, our business intelligence tool built specifically for our suite of oil and gas software products. And then we acquired a couple of new companies. We acquired WellTrax this summer. And then at the end of the year, and some of you may not have noticed the press release, but we acquired a company called Scout. And on today's webcast, we're going to use today's WolfePak Wednesday to introduce Scout to the WolfePak community. And who better to do it but Scout's former CEO and the current general manager of the Scout Business Group, now at WolfePak, Paul Marino. Paul, welcome to WolfePak Wednesday.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Excellent. Well, we always pick on new guests on the podcast, so maybe you can just give us a little bit of background about yourself.
Sure. So grew up in Oklahoma, went off to study for school and do kind of a couple other jobs out there, but came back and with a heavy focus on custom software and application development. Have built applications for many different industries, web applications as well as mobile applications. Being in Oklahoma, we saw an obvious opportunity to work with oil and gas companies, and so that's really started kind of spearheading some new development as really with kind of a different focus or different approach than most. And around 2012, that was successful and started our kind of spun off and founded Scout soon after that. So I've been actively pursuing new businesses as well as continuing to grow the business since then.
So from a technologist perspective, you've really been focused on mobile app development. And then really for the past 7, 8 years, you've been in the oil and gas side of that. So quite a bit of experience with creating mobile applications out for the oil field.
That's right, and with a heavy emphasis on easy to use applications. I mean, user experience is very important for us, ensuring that we're able to deliver a product that is not only captures everything from the field and operations perspective, but does so easier than any other tool out there. So we're heavy emphasis on user ease of use, heavy emphasis on the UI as part of all of the applications.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things that really attracted to us to do this deal with Scout was the feedback that we got from Scout's customers on how easy it was for them to roll out the Scout application to their field, how easy it was to get their pumpers trained up. It was intuitive. It was, the UI was designed in a way that the pumpers expected, and then ditto for the back office and dispatch. All of that made sense as well. So that's a definite strength. But so while we got you, let's go ahead and kind of dive into just exactly what is Scout.
Yeah, that's great. So kind of, as I mentioned, we started with the field data capture component, and really it was developing a mobile application with the field. So we spent a lot of time in different field offices throughout Oklahoma and Texas. I spent a lot of time riding in the trucks with them to ensure that we understood their day, and that was really important for us. So really started with a mobile application that was incredibly easy to use, but at the same time was robust, did all of the calculations that they needed to, so there was no more chicken scratch on the side of their paper. No more redundant data entry. So really developed kind of the interface that allowed them to key in all of those metrics. And we've really added to that application ever since. So it's a very mature mobile application that's been in the App Store for the last 7 years and been deployed all over the United States. So we're continuing to do that.
Yeah, and just to kind of put it in context, it's an app that's focused on pumpers that are out on production sites to capture production information, right? I know that was at least the primary focus. I know we do a lot more than just that today, but that was kind of the initial thought, correct?
Yes, definitely. So really being able to collect all of the kind of daily metrics, or even kind of weekly and monthly metrics with the field, as well as integrating with lots of SCADA system to where it can automatically bring in the SCADA data and then really present present the pumper back, the ability to review that data and make any adjustments to that data very easily.
Very good. So really kind of started out as a mobile app aimed at pumpers, and then kind of over time grew to gather all sorts of metrics from the field, right? Mainly oriented around production data and production management data. Eventually got into integrations with SCADA systems as well. And then that brings it all back into a cloud-based server that then the field offices could then access to do kind of active monitoring. You want to talk a little bit about the back end of Scout?
Yeah, definitely. So yes, started with the mobile data capture, have since added a whole host of additional capabilities. And I would say as a part of that, as we've been rolling out, as we rolled out the application, the integrations with the accounting system has always been, really important for us. We know that, accountants having to kind of clean up that data and sanitize that data after the fact is problematic. And so we really focused on getting clean, efficient data right up at the beginning. Before that, all the data is streamed down to an accounting system. And one of the things that was important for us was being able to tie into those systems. I mean, a lot of the accounting systems had a type of data capture component, but a lot of it was field operations designed by accountants, and we knew that's not how the field wanted to interface with the data. So certainly spent a heavy emphasis on that, and then have since grown into a really comprehensive production surveillance tool. So tying in components from economic system, tying in the SCADA systems, tying in data from an accounting system to really provide a single comprehensive solution for total surveillance.
Very good. Very good. So I know we talked a lot about this, but really the another thing that really impressed us about what you guys have put together was just how comprehensive it was in terms of the data points that we can capture out in the field.
Yeah, that's a good point. So the application is very customizable and configurable to everybody's assets. I mean, they're all set up differently. People like to call things a little bit differently from company to company. So it's very configurable for all of the different pieces of equipment, all of the individual collection points, as well as all of the calculations that need to happen. Certainly, as new regulatory requirements come out, it's capturing new whether it's GHG calculations or some new emissions related calculations. So the application is really configurable to address all of those needs, as well as lots of different allocations and allocation methods. So yeah, very, very configurable. I think the other thing that has kind of helped us stand out is really from day one, it has been an application that has been supported being completely offline as well as online. And that transition state from the pumper is entirely seamless. So the application handles that. Application automatically detects connectivity or detects new signals to submit that data. So really that was important for us to not disrupt the operator's day, not disrupt the pumpers entering data, but at the same time, we knew that they're going to be in remote locations. And so that was really there from day one, and we've continued to improve on that as well.
Very good, very good. And it is kind of interesting too. I mean, and we had talked about this when we were going through the process, but you're already seeing people that are using Scout to track some of the emissions metrics, because either they're being required or it's in anticipation of them having to do that type of reporting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we see that. We see chemical tracking, obviously, a flare and flare tracking. I mean, it really does tailor well to everybody's setup. Very good. Yeah, so in addition to collecting all of the daily data, which we had within the mobile application, about 5 years ago, we rolled out kind of this module that we refer to as events. And we were still out in the field riding around in trucks, and we still noticed a binder filled with lots of other paper processes that the guys in the field were having to record. We saw this as a perfect opportunity to introduce events. And what events does is it really captures not just the daily data, which we have with all the other volumetric recording, but really anything that may be weekly or monthly or annually. So anything from emissions requirements, AST tank inspections, SPCC inspections, AVO inspections, really lots of other areas within the kind of operations that this module allows us to capture. And honestly, we have folks leveraging it for collecting all sorts of things, whether it's HSE related, spill activities, spill events, or near misses. We even have folks using it for vehicle inspections and cattle cards and lease signage. So it's really been a great module for us to release to our clients that allows them to custom build forms as well as capture all of this other data to become a kind of comprehensive collection of all field related operations and field related data.
One-stop shopping. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, so as all the data is collected in the mobile application, it's sent back to our primary production application. It's an entirely cloud-based application. It's completely responsive for every device. So you can pull it up from your phone, you can pull it from a tablet, and obviously pull it up on kind of laptops and larger monitors. So it's fully responsive. This is where you'll be able to see all of the information that's synced from the mobile application. So we encourage folks to sync frequently. So to provide a kind of near real-time picture of all of the data as it's coming in, be able to do all of the trending, all of the roll-ups, also be able to configure all of the assets and all of the different collection points. From the application, the kind of production application also allows them to specify min values or max values to ensure the pumpers are putting in those values correctly, as well as to address any sort of fat fingering that might happen within the application as well.
Oh,
in addition, yeah. Additionally, there's a whole host of reporting capabilities that are within the application also, as well as some enhanced modules for imports and so forth.
Yep. No, absolutely. Speaking of which.
Yeah, no, this is great. Yes, reporting and analytics has been really, really big for us. It is our approach is a little bit different. Rather than saying, hey, client, here's our 5 reports, we really do take a somewhat of a bespoke approach regarding reporting and analytics. I mean, we understand it's your data, it's your company's operations. So we'll really tailor the reports to their business and really understand what are the key metrics that they want to highlight, what are the key values they want to see, and how do they want to see them. And we'll work very closely during implementation and even long after that to really be able to provide them all the metrics that they need to efficiently run their business.
Yeah, no, I mean, so it's, as I mentioned in the intro, we have the WolfePak Intelligence product that we released. It's very, very similar to what we did with WolfePak Intelligence. You guys have provided a best of breed BI tool, some templates, and then really have just enabled your customers to come in and slice and dice the data, any way they need to best run their business. That's the approach we've taken with WolfePak Intelligence as well. And I'm sure over time we'll converge, but for now it is a very, very capable BI tool for the Scout platform. And then also another thing that we came across when we were interviewing Scout customers was this Flowback data capture and reporting module. It's something that just came up time after time as something that Scout offers that's somewhat unique to the market. So I thought maybe we could talk through it a little bit.
Yeah, perfect. Yes, I mean, I think it's unique for folks that have, I think this process is traditionally and still currently a heavy Excel spreadsheet process. So it really allowed us to duplicate a lot of the functionality within a spreadsheet, but at the same time, extend it to their third-party flow hand so that they could interface directly with the system. They could record all the hourly data. We provide a full audit trail of all of the flow hands that are recording activities so that you can see that they're putting in that data hourly rather than just giving you an average every 6 hours when you get your report. But in addition to that, we manage all the distribution, as well as add a whole layer of analytics on top of that. So it's been really a great module from that perspective. In addition to that, you're automatically tying all of your Flowback data to your production data. So you can immediately see all of the data during Flowback as well as for the life of the well. So it's been a really good module from that perspective also.
Very good. And I guess the last slide that we have for today's discussion is just a little bit about why we thought it made sense to put Scout together, not only with WolfePak Anywhere, which is our oil and gas cloud-based accounting package, but also potentially some other products as well. But maybe Paul, you could give us some thoughts on some some things that combining these two products will provide our customers.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, really from kind of day one, we've tied two different accounting systems. But I think this opportunity really allows us to leverage a lot of the data that we have been wanting to leverage for a long time. So I think it works. It's very compelling from our perspective to not only provide the daily data as well as send the daily data down, but to also aggregate information from an accounting system, as well as make it kind of a single source or a source of truth for a lot of that data also. I think some very common scenarios for us would be to kind of bring in some of the ownership information, potentially bringing in some of the LOS or LOE data to really use that data to augment a lot of the production data and really give a comprehensive picture of all of the activity from a production perspective, from a cost perspective to a net perspective. So it's really does kind of enhance the data significantly for us and provides a very clear surveillance tool for operations.
Very good. And then you and I were talking right before we hit the record button. We think there's also potentially an interesting combination between Scout and WellTrax, another product in kind of a way that we hadn't anticipated. Maybe you could tease that out. I think that might be a separate WolfePak Wednesday, but maybe you can set it up for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as everybody knows, the ticketing process is a very kind of antiquated process. It reminds me still of the kind of carbon copy from a diner as you're placing your breakfast order. It's still an antiquated process, and I think the acquisition of WellTrax and after seeing some of their capabilities really allows us to tie the ticketing process from the hauler or for the transporter automatically into the Scout system, and then obviously downstream to WolfePak. So I think there's some really good opportunities, really cool opportunities to really overhaul or rethink the way that tickets are handled everywhere from kind of WellTrax on downstream.
No, can agree more. And like I said, I think you just set us up for another WolfePak Wednesday. Speaking of which, Paul, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Welcome to the pack. We're excited to have you, to have the entire Scout team to the pack. I know that we've already signed up some brand new Scout customers from within the WolfePak community. If you're in the WolfePak community and you'd like to have more information on Scout, please visit our website. Of course, you can always reach out to sales@wolfepak.com. You can expect to have more communication on this. We have some special topics, some live demos that we're going to do. So you'll continue to hear more about Scout as the year wears on. And again, we also are planning to do some field marketing events in 2022 as well. So Paul, thanks again. And thanks to everybody for tuning in to this week's edition of WolfePak Wednesday.